What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, I have the GeminiiDRAGON. Oh, you've heard of the GeminiiDRAGON. Well, she's a vocalist, singer, songwriter out of the Louisiana area, Thibodaux, Louisiana, to be more precise. She's been doing it for a while, and you're going to get to hear a little bit about her story in the next few minutes, so stick around. Oh, so excited to talk to the GeminiiDRAGON. I guess I start saying GeminiiDRAGON because there's two eyes jammed in there. So when you're looking it up, look it up with the two eyes. But this week's shows, I will be at the Rab on Friday night, my usual Friday night gig, the video dance party, karaoke jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show every Friday night at the Rab. Come on out and sing for the people because the people need to be entertained. They got a full bar. The kitchen's open. They got some good food in that kitchen, too. From what I understand, from what I've heard in science, the more you drink, the more you eat, the more you could drink. Not me. It's science. Hey. If I'm wrong, send me an email. But no, they got pool. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool, I encourage you to check out the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. They got 10 diamond-style pool tables, these professional pool tables. I don't know what a diamond-style pool table is, but it's pretty fancy. And the pool players, the actual people that do it for money, you know, they seem to like those diamond-style pool tables. So come check it out. Video dance party, karaoke jam at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas on Friday night from 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the a.m. Come and play. It's a good time. And then on Saturday, I think I have a wedding or something. But usually my Saturday nights are for private events. So if you have a private event, give me a jingle. I'll catch you on the jangle. DJLittleRock.com. So exciting. So excited that I get to do this after all these years. Still get to play for the people. So good. Hey, that's enough intro. Let's get into it with GeminiiDRAGON. I got her on the Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version, youtube.com/user/KeysDan. Skyping GeminiiDRAGON now. All right. Give me a 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Awesome. Solid.
Okay.
GeminiiDRAGON in the house. Oh, my goodness. Hi. How you doing? Keys Dan. Excited to be here.
Doing good.
You are? You're doing good.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, technology is great. But let me tell you, first of all, I got to commend your friend, your associate, Christian Simeon. Whoever that is to you is on the ball, setting this up and putting the shout out and making sure that we get a chance to talk. I've been listening to your music, and I got to tell you that Louisiana is one of my favorite places to be. Been to Baton Rouge, been to New Orleans. Have not had the pleasure, I don't think, maybe I've been through, maybe I've flown over, maybe I've driven past Thibodaux, but I got to know a little bit more about Thibodaux, just, because the flavor that you give in your music is, it's just so good. Is it the Thibodaux sound? Are you from Thibodaux, born and raised? Is that it?
Oh, yeah. From Thibodaux, born and raised.
See, I don't know whether to call you Gemini or Dragon or call you by your real name. I don't know what to disclose in this podcast. I got to know more.
Let's we can leave it as Gemini to keep it short.
Fantastic. Because my God-given name is not Keys Dan. My name is Daniel Gilson, but not a lot of people know that. I guess the people that listen to this podcast often enough will know that Keys Dan is my nom de plume, my moniker, the one that I got in the Florida Keys. But I got to know why Gemini I Dragon, and I did say it the I twice because there's two I's in there. Gemini I Dragon. Why that? Why that?
I'm a Gemini, of course. It's really simple. I'm a Gemini. I like dragons and mythical beings. So I just put it together, thought it sounded cool, and there you go.
Well, it's just so simple. I mean, that seems to be a thing. When I went to Louisiana, let me tell you, first time I went to Louisiana was to chase a girl. And, I had a girlfriend in Fort Lauderdale, and, we were dating there. We dated for a little bit, and then we broke up. And then she moved away to Louisiana. I said, "Oh, I miss that girl." But I went to to Louisiana to go chase her down, and we talked for a little bit, and she's still there. She's still at LSU. So
okay.
Anybody listening to this, you got a great teacher at LSU that I used to know a long time ago. But then I get to Baton Rouge, which is where she's at. And then I get, she takes me down to New Orleans to go visit down there. And I'm going restaurant to restaurant to restaurant, music, flavor. Not just flavor of the food, but flavor of the music and flavor of the people. There's just so much in Louisiana as a whole. But then all the different provinces, and I guess they are called provinces. They're not cities, right?
No, they're cities. We have cities. Now, what's different is we have parishes instead of counties. Yeah. Okay. We don't have counties. We have parishes.
See, now that's what you're going to teach me. This is a learning podcast. I'm learning from you, Gemini. And I know that there's a lot of magic. Tell me about the magic of Thibodeau. And your magic, you already told me about your sign and how that affects you in your life. Is it fun or do you take it seriously?
Life or music or which in particular?
Well, pick it. We're going to go with your sign. You say Gemini. You've taken it to heart and you've made it part of your name. Gemini and then dragon. I'm not sure what dragon is. That your Chinese sign? Because I think I'm year of the monkey.
I wish it was. I'm the year of the rooster. Gemini rooster does not have the same ring as Gemini dragon.
No, it doesn't. And I know a little bit about the Far East culture and the dragon. People will wait to have babies in the year of the dragon because there is some kind of symbolism to that. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I know a dragon is, I believe that they believe it brings life and it has control over the waters and that kind of thing, if I remember correctly.
Well, I'm an Aquarius. I guess that's it's the water bearer, but did I hear right? Is it an earth sign? I don't know much about the signs. I mean, go ahead.
That I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember. If you would have asked me a couple of years ago when I was more into that kind of thing, I'd have been able to answer that question, but I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I do. Okay. Being born and raised in Thibodeau, I got to know how big is Thibodeau? Where is Thibodeau in relation to, what the state of Louisiana? Because I got to know how did Gemini Dragon become Gemini Dragon?
Okay. So Thibodeau is a very small city. It's barely a city. Well, I love my city. I'm going to say that, but it's small. It's very small, everybody knows everybody just about, we are, I want to say, we're southwest of New Orleans.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, would that be, is that on the water?
We are not on the water.
Okay.
We're not on the water, no.
Because New Orleans has like water around it, right? Is that right? And if you're southwest.
Well, New Orleans is below sea level.
Yeah.
It's not near the water either, not the coast, So below us are some other small cities, and they are on the coast.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
So Thibodeau's a small town. I grew up in I grew up in Miami, which is huge, and then Fort Lauderdale, which is pretty big, and then the Florida Keys, which is where Keys Dan comes from. Small town.
Awesome.
You know, there's 10,000 people in this 100 miles of Keys, but if you're in one part of it, it's small. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's in your business, but the other thing is that everybody will lend a helping hand if you're feeling down. Is that how it is in your town?
Yeah, but for the most part. Now, things have changed a little bit as I've gotten older, but for the most part, it still has that, you know, everybody come together kind of feeling.
Well, little baby Gemini in Thibodaux. Are you going to school? What are you learning? Are you going to church? What are you learning? What are you getting into as a little baby girl?
Well, I grew up in the church. Like my family members sing. My grandfather was very active in the church and in the community. My uncle currently plays for the church I grew up in. So I was in church.
What kind of church?
Catechism. I grew up Catholic.
Catholic.
Yep,
Man,
I grew up Catholic.
I was born Catholic, and then it didn't take. Now I'm American. You know, you grow. No, my mom and my grandma are still in the Catholic thing, and man, I knew it was always a mystery. Every time I asked my priest a question, or I said, you know, the fun question where, hey, can God make if God could do anything, could He make a rock that He cannot lift? You know, you're yanking,
them, huh?
Yeah, you're yanking the priest chain, and you know, the only, if you stump them, they'll say it's a mystery. Oh, it's a mystery, and you're like, why? Why is it a mystery? Don't we have this big giant book that we've read cover to cover, and all the mysteries should be solved in there. It's a good book of instructions, whether you believe it or not. It's a good book of instructions, and there's a lot of smiting way back when, and there's a lot of forgiving. You know, in the later parts, a lot of forgiveness and watch out because something's coming. You know, it's fun.
Yeah. It kept me in line for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything as a youth. I was afraid of going to HE double hockey sticks.
You better believe it. Oh my goodness. So yes, between your parents teaching you right, you know, having trust in the Word of God, you know, whether people believe in it or not, it's a good book of instructions, you know, and I think it's a good foundation for a child. If
it can be helpful.
Yeah, and parents don't come with, you know, kids don't come with instructions, so parents are usually left to their own devices. Hopefully their moms and dads have told them a little bit about how to raise a child, but then, you know, you're on your own, you know, for the most part. But I mean, tell me about, you say your dad was in the church. Was he a deacon or was he
Well, my grandfather. So my grandfather was like in a choir and just a community leader, like in different groups in the community. He did electrical work on the side, so he knew a lot of people, you know. That kind of thing.
Well,
he sang and played guitar and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, electrician. That's solid. That's something that you're working with your hands. Everybody, you know, has become accustomed to this thing we call electricity. If the electricity goes out for more than 30 minutes, people freak out. You know.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I'm sure your grandfather came in handy, especially when electricity was a little bit newer way back when. I mean, you know, I'm guessing that he was around, you know, in either the mid-century or even before that, you know, as electricity was really coming into being, and people were getting televisions and radio.
Yeah.
You know, so there's history there. And you say he played guitar as well?
Yeah, he played guitar and sang. He was in a choir. You know, my family has that kind of, you know, I don't want to say it's typical, but, you know, I have aunts and uncles that sing and play instruments, that kind of thing, on my mother's side. My father's side were more connoisseurs of music rather than, you know, participating in it with the instrument, with the voice. But still, there was a love of music on both sides.
All right. So what kind of records are playing? What's coming out of the radio when little GeminiiDRAGON is bopping through the house singing songs? What are you singing along with?
Well, of course, a lot of gospel. My mother's side of the family were more into R&B and that kind of thing. Like, let's see, my brain is
Well, favorite gospel song.
My memory's gone.
Favorite gospel song. What's that?
Let's see. Actually, Swing Low. It was my grandfather's favorite song too. Swing low, sweet chariot, come but carry me home. That song, yeah.
See, you're singing it with a higher register. You know, whenever I listened, I think I had, I don't know if I had a record or somebody had a record in the family. When they played it, it was that low register. My original version, you know, my first hearing of that song was the Swing Low.
That's my grandfather right there.
Oh my goodness.
That was him.
So deep.
Nice and slow.
Oh, so powerful. And just, so much feeling. And this is some, you know, record from, you know, 50 years ago, even when I was a kid. It was 50 years, you know, I'm growing up in the 70s. And even 50 years before that, possibly, that song had been recorded on some kind of a disc. And here, somehow, I'm getting to hear it in my ears. And yeah.
It's an old hymn. It's a very old hymn.
I mean, what do you know about that song? I mean, do you know the history of that song? Do you know anything about, you know, gospel?
Who created it or who wrote it?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, that's people that put it on the spot, but I want this to be, you know, fuzzy history. What if that's, you know, what's coming into your ears? I mean, for me, I'll Fly Away, I guess, is my favorite gospel song.
Ooh, that's another good one.
Oh, for sure. You know, I listen to that.
Morning. I haven't heard that in a long time.
I love it. Oh, you're sending chills down my spine. Just those few little notes that you're singing. And this is like on the spot. You're singing the songs. And yeah, I was listening.
You're bringing back memories too. Like that's the songs from my childhood.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm listening to the music that you have, you know, on your YouTube page for the most part. I'm listening to all these videos and I'm watching your performances. We'll get to that. But, oh, my goodness.
Okay.
I know when they go to a DraGon show, they're going to have a good time, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I'm hanging back in the early days, you know, when you're listening to gospel music, R&B. What's your favorite R&B from that time? Do you remember what record mom or dad put on?
So my mom liked the Emotions a lot. In groups like that, the Emotions, and I can't recall any other names right now. My father loved like Parliament, Funkadelic, and Curtis Mayfield, Jimi Hendrix. Like that's where I get that side of my love of music is from him.
Super
you know,
fly.
Sugarfoot, that kind of stuff. You know, he liked that genre of music in that realm. You know.
Okay, so Dad's bringing the funk. You know,
he's bringing the funk.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You know, I listened to Parliament, I listened to Curtis Mayfield, and you know, Superfly. Oh, what an album! You know, just even the movie,
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Still party music, still stuff.
Yeah.
When you put it on at a party or when you sing it at a party, I'm sure the people get down. The people remember. The people have feelings changed. I mean, okay, so GeminiiDRAGON, I know you have, when did you start? Okay, the typical interview question in 3, 2, 1. When did you start singing music? When did you find this aptitude for music? And you know, were you doing this as a little girl? Were you you know, I'd say bothering or performing for the family as a youngin?
I did sing in choir as a little girl, but I never thought I could. I didn't think I had a great voice because I grew up in a church and it's a Black Catholic church, so I'm surrounded by all these powerhouse singers, you know. I didn't truly have an interest in pursuing music as a career until I was in college. I was in college and I was singing in line at some, I don't remember anymore, maybe going to some class or whatever. And some girls heard me who had a little girl group and they asked me to join the group. And that was my first inkling into, you know, well, maybe I can, you know, do something with his voice.
Well, there's a saying I heard a long time ago, nobody sounds bad singing gospel music. And I think you can apply it to like even Christmas music or holiday music. You know, that nobody sounds bad singing a Christmas song because it's, you know, it's joy. You could hear the joy in your voice when you're singing it. You know, yeah, okay, maybe that's subjective But I think, you know, if you put the joy in your voice, singing Christmas, singing gospel, and then in turn singing any other kinds of music, you know, the more you sing it, the better you're going to be. Did you ever have, okay, you went to the choir, so I consider that some kind of formal training. Did you ever go to a vocal coach as well, or was that in the choir? Did you get coached by the choir director?
We got coached a little bit in the choir in church. I did pursue as a minor a degree in music education, like vocal education. So I had a few classes, not a lot. I started late, but I did have that. Most of what I would believe as the training that I'm applying currently, I received like on-job training, because I was in a cover band at one point. So you learn as you're on stage what to do and how to do it.
Yeah, I wonder about that, because I went to broadcast school back in '86. That's the 1900s for the kids that are listening right now. I went to broadcast school back then, and doing reel to reel, and then I went to the radio station to actually work, and I felt like I learned more at the radio station. But without that base, a lot of people think you go and you get your book smarts, you get your theory. If you're going to school, if you're going to pursue a career in anything, go to school for it. Learn from the people that have done it before. And then apply your own style to whatever job that might be.
That's right.
Whether you're a brain surgeon or a musician, you're going to do it in your style. So having that theory that you learned, those few classes that you took,
foundation.
Do you think that helped? Learning how to do chord progression and notes and stuff like that. I never went to that kind of school, so I'm just guessing what you learned there.
No, it does. It definitely helps. And sometimes it, I'm taken aback, because some of the lessons that I was taught in school, I didn't really catch on or understand why it was being taught. But now that I'm using it more often, I'm like, oh, this is why she was telling me to do this, I find that happens often. My voice teacher was an opera singer, and she will always say, you use this as your base, and then you can apply it to anything. Like, you don't have to necessarily sound like an opera singer to know how to breathe properly, So yeah, it comes in handy. It does.
Well, I think that's a biblical thing. You got to spoon feed a baby, like the pudding or something like that, before you give them a steak or whatever. I don't know if it's biblical or whatever, but there was it's a saying, something to the effect of, and this is all fuzzy. I'm not going to look anything up, but you got to feed a baby, baby food. You can't feed a baby steak, so you have to have that little food. And sometimes when you're in school, you don't know why you're getting taught these things. When am I ever going to use algebra? Ever? And then you find, when you get older, you know what? That was algebra that I just used to do that, to do that thing that was so obscure that I thought I'd never do. And I'm sure your grandpa with his electricity, he's using math all the time, trying to figure out how to not die. Doing his, because electricity is a dangerous thing.
Dangerous.
So you got to respect it. But okay, so in school, did you learn how to play any instruments, or did they teach you better how to use your instrument, your voice?
Well, we had to take like a piano class or two, but I can't count that. We took the class 2 or 3 semesters, enough to be able to, I guess, vocalize ourselves on the keyboard, play some scales, whatnot. That's about it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's another power.
The focus was on the voice.
Okay, that's another power that a musician, an entertainer has. If they can accompany themselves on an instrument, that makes them that much more valuable and that much more mobile. If you have a guitar, if you have a keyboard, you could play for yourself. If you're if you're a vocalist, and
you're dependent on the people around you.
That is correct. And as we get older, it gets harder and harder, doesn't it?
It depends on who you have. If you have a great team, it only gets easier and easier.
Okay.
It depends on your circle.
All right. Well, I mean, you already touched that you went to college. We're getting a little further into the GeminiiDRAGON, mini story, because I know we're not going to scratch the surface in this hour that we have together. And I do like touching back from time to time, as time progresses, I want you to come back on this podcast and talk more about what's going on now. But I want to, lay that foundation. You got the gospel, you got the funk, you got you got the music in the house. Grandpa's playing guitar. You got choir. Oh, there's so much music foundation there. You couldn't help but have either an appreciation or go into this industry for yourself, so after after college, you decide, well, you got this girl group. Well, tell me about the girl group.
Well, it didn't last long. I will say that. I think we recorded like a Christmas special for a TV show, like a little small TV show, but it never aired, and then that went away.
Well, when was this? What year was this?
Oh, I do not recall. I'm not going to even try to.
2000s, way back in the 1900s.
Probably 2000s, maybe.
So early
probably
2000s.
2000. Probably 2000.
So you actually produced a whole Christmas special that never.
No, we didn't produce it. It was someone else's TV show, and they invited us on to be interviewed, and we sang a song or two for the show.
And it never went.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
it wasn't meant to be. I was supposed to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Well, that's those things. You hear about a lot. Well, go ahead.
Well, and that really wasn't. I did it for the opportunity. It was awesome. To have someone invite you in on something, but that really wasn't my cup of tea. I've always been more into starting off in high school alternative, music, alternative rock, and blues rock, and that was always my kind of cup of tea more so than an R&B girl group. So everything happens the way it should.
Oh, but you had that experience, and I hear a lot about, I have actors on this podcast as well. They go out for pilots and try to go out for shows. They even produce the whole show, and it never airs. Nothing ever happens from it. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. No. That's such a heartbreaker. At least, you would have had that out there, put it on your resume. So is any of that music survive? Is that any of that music from the girl group that you were a part of? Is it out there on the internet at all?
Oh, no, nothing like that. No, didn't even get that far.
What was the name of the group?
Platinum Voices 4, PV4.
4 girls?
4 girls, yep, PV4.
Now, when you're in a group with 4 girls, and I'm guessing it's different harmonies, what jobs do you have? Was it like In Sync, where all the guys wanted to sing, exactly the same, or was it one lead singer and 3 backup singers?
I want to say, I think we all took turns leading songs. Like when we were doing harmonies, we had our own set. Particular harmony that we did, but we took turns leading songs.
See, I just heard a podcast with Mel C of the Spice Girls, and when they had that group put together, and none of them knew each other before the group got put together, they wanted a group of all lead singers, so everybody had a chance to be a lead. Yeah, so in a girl group was it put together, or was it the 3 girls were already established, and then they said, hey, I need me some GeminiiDRAGON, come on over here, we need a 4th?
That's what it was. They already had something going and asked me to come. Like, this was nothing fancy. It was nothing, there was no money behind it. It was just 4 college girls who, for whatever reason, felt like they can sing something and do something.
Well, I mean,
but it was a good experience,
Exactly. When people are starting out, yes, they do have to do that certain thing for exposure. Just like if you're studying to be a doctor or a nurse, or like me, studying to be an EMT and paramedic, I had to go do internships, which is no money, but that is your learning experience. That's your schooling. So you being in this girl group, that gives you the schooling. That's the schooling that you need to become a better vocalist, singing different types of songs. Oh, maybe this is not my cup of tea, but I'm going to learn that song. I'm going to try it, and I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to give these people a show. Did you ever take that in front of people?
Just that one little thing.
Just that one little thing.
That
All
one
right.
little thing, and that was it. It died after that.
You get done with the platinums, and then you break away. Where does Gemini Dragon go from there?
Well, I focused on school for a while. I got focused on school. I didn't really do anything with music other than, education until years later. I want to say around 2009 or 10, maybe.
Well, you focused on school. What did you want to be when you grew up? What was your day job?
Well, education. Yeah. Initially, I was going to school for goodness gracious. I think biology was my major, and music was my minor.
Did you want to teach biology?
No. I think
Why
it's
biology?
nursing, something along those lines. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
You are asking me questions that I have not thought about in a long time. But yeah.
I just got to know the ABCs of you, when I'm growing up, I haven't always done the DJ thing full time. There's always been something else. I was a firefighter. I was a paramedic. I was radio and all this other kind of thing. But there's other facets to you. Yes, you're a great singer. If anybody goes online and finds Gemini Dragon, that's right, 2 eyes. I said it. If anybody looks that up, they're going to find music after music after music. And it's blues driven, it's rock driven, it's soul driven, but you put your own little flavor on it. Like I said, you go to school, you learn the basics, you learn the history, you learn the how to put chords together, but then you got to make it your own. And that's what you do. That's what you do. So when you break out in 2010, I guess you got your degree in whatever, or you went to school for whatever, whether it took or not, whether that's actually a day job, you can say if or not. But after school, what do you do?
Well, I was writing. I picked up the guitar a little bit, and I was just singing at whatever local spot allowed me to sing. Not getting paid, mind you, just like open mic nights, and someone invites me to sing this place, let's go sing this place, that kind of thing, And I did that for a little while. I left it alone because I got married.
Hey, mazel tov.
Got married and left it alone for 5 years or so. And then toward the end of that period of life, I joined a cover band.
Okay. What's the name of the cover band? And that's in 2010 or so?
That is in 2016, 17.
Okay.
18.
Getting closer to now.
That's right. 16, 17. That's right.
And what's the name of that band? And what kind of covers are you doing? And what kind of gigs?
It was called Vintage Experience. It was old school R&B.
Like what?
And we like Parliament and Aretha Franklin and like anything in that genre of music, is what we did.
And you're up at the lead, or you got other singers, or what are you doing?
We had 3 lead singers, 3 women, 3 lead singers. Yeah. So
one of the women is taking George Clinton with Parliament, and then the other one's taking Aretha, and the other one's taking maybe Tina. What else? What are you doing? What's the job?
So I was the lady tenor, and so we had a soprano, alto, and myself. So I did a lot of the male songs, Earth and Fire, and those sorts of songs. And like I said, Aretha Franklin was some of the songs we did, and what was it? Rocksteady.
So are you studying
Franklin as well? You're
studying Maurice White and his style. You're trying to figure out what makes the magic.
I already knew about him. Since a little bitty tot. I've been listening to Earth and Fire and those types of bands, so I already knew about him. It was just fun to partake in it.
I know they recently lost their drummer, and wow, rest his soul. I hope he goes off to his, yeah. But I know Earth, Wind and Fire over the last couple of weeks has been in the news because of losing their drummer. But man, wow. I love that music. I love a good party band. Now you're giving people gems. If you want to go into the music business, yes, you could be in a party band. You can work every weekend, make a certain amount of money, and have gigs every weekend, probably locally. You won't have to go more than 100 miles away from your house to do a wedding or a corporate event or a carnival or a festival or something like that. You don't have to go anywhere farther away than a few miles away from your house.
Then you want to,
yeah. Now that is for a certain kind of singer, but you already said you write your songs too. Now, when did you get into the writing songs? Was that something more recent? Because I know you have a few covers on your YouTube, but you do have a few original songs as well that are fully produced with lyric videos, and I think there's some that have full videos. I'm a child of the MTV era, so I do like music and sound and vision and visual video as well. Yeah. But you've taken the time to do that. So tell me about the song writing. When did that happen?
So I actually started writing when I was like in middle school. So I've been writing songs for a long time. Not saying that they all were necessarily good songs, but I have been writing them since middle school. Now my album Fighting Fire with Fire and the new album Equinox was written with myself and with Christian Simeon. So we co-wrote those together and produced them, and he produced it. I helped write.
Well, I mentioned Kristen Simeon in the beginning because he put this together, and I guess it's Nepotism Recordings. What is Kristen Simeon to you, and how is he helping you to further your career?
Well, he wears many hats. He doesn't like to be bragged upon too much, so I don't want to spill too many of the beans. But we co-wrote the songs. He produced the songs, wrote the instrumentation and that kind of thing for the songs. So he's a very talented individual. And he's been doing it for a long time, or a very long time.
Well, that's good. Giving credit where credit is due. We can't do this all by ourselves. We can get to a certain level by ourselves, but to get to that next level, to get to the levels, multi-levels that past where we want to be, we got to have help. We got to have a team, and I'm glad you have that on your side. Well, as a producer, does that mean he has a studio, or he takes you to a studio, or what studio are you producing your songs at?
It's been different situations. Now, the recent one, we have what was it called? I think Bertrees Studios is what it was called. Let me see.
Is that local? That local to Louisiana?
It is in Louisiana. Okay. Yes, it is in Louisiana.
So it's a place that you can go to pretty close to your dwelling, wherever you're living, at Thibodaux?
Not in Thibodaux. No, not in Thibodaux. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, well, but you're recording your songs. They're fully produced. My goodness, your voice is great. I mean, but then, on top of that, I can hear the effects that they put on to make the song even more interesting, because you sound good, but then on those
the music sounds awesome.
Yeah. That's what a producer can do. But you can tell that you know how to sing because your videos, you've taken the time to even record the live videos, or somebody recorded them for you. You put them on your YouTube and you say, even live she sounds that good. With a drummer, with a guitarist, with accompaniment. Now tell me, all right, that's the team. You got to give credit where credit is due. You can't do it all by yourself. Now, do you play guitar well enough to where you can busk, you can go off on your own and sing?
No, I used to play guitar, strum guitar, not play, strum guitar and sing my little songs, but that is not for the road. That's for home. In my room, man.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's good to have a team, and I see the latest video there is from Dipesias and some other places around. I'm guessing they're around Thibodeau. I mean, tell me about the places that people can find you on a Saturday night, on a Friday night, or even on a Tuesday night while you're singing your songs. I mean, are there places that you go regularly?
Not locally. We strictly are the plan is to go out. So DiPiazza's is actually a blues club in California. I did a tour in October. We hit up California and Arizona and where else? One other place I can't recall right now. But we did a little tour in October, and a lot of the footage that you see with me live are those spots, like DiPiazza's and the Mint. We went there. So I'm not doing a whole lot locally right now. We're getting ready to go out again this weekend. We're going to be in Chester, South Carolina, at the 30th annual MLK Blues Festival.
Well, all right.
Okay. Yeah. Things are starting to heat up again. I'll pick up again. Yep. We took a little break, but January and going forward, we're going to hit some spots up.
Well, that is fantastic. My goodness, you get to do these shows. Now, touring is hard on a relationship, and I don't have to tell you that, but well, I guess it depends on the relationship. Right. It can be, and I want you to let people know how you keep it together. And what is the tour like? Is it a bus tour, or are you flying from place to place, or is it 3 or 4 people in a van? What's the GeminiiDRAGON tour look like?
It's still in its beginnings, so there's no flying, and there is no bus, but we are traveling comfortably. Okay, and we're doing what we got to do to get where we got to get to put on a great show for the folks that come out and see us.
Well, I mean, it's hard to drive. Are you driving yourself? Because even over the last weekend, Friday night, I drove from where I'm at in Conway, Arkansas, to Detroit, Michigan. That's 15 hours, and then I drove across to Wyoming. That was another 17 hours, and then back down to Conway, another 15 hours. So in total, I drove over 3,000 miles in the past 3 days. So, and it was hard on my body. So I couldn't imagine, driving all that way and then going to play a song. Are you driving yourself?
Fortunately, I didn't have to drive. I did not have to drive. Unfortunately, I'd be up to it, but I did not have to do that this past tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got people that are helping you out with that as well. Once again, part of a team.
Got to have a good team.
Exactly. Yeah. You're giving people gems. You cannot do it all by yourself. You could be a you could be a SoundCloud DJ, a SoundCloud musician, but to get to that next level, you need to have a team. Now, who's producing?
That's right.
Okay. The songs you're writing, maybe not the ones from middle school, and anybody that's listening that's in middle school, and if you feel like you want to write, start writing poems.
That's right.
Put lyrics together. Pour your heart out there. Tell me in middle school, what are you writing about?
Oh my goodness. Oh goodness.
Is it that boy over there, or is it the pencil in your hand? What's on the chalkboard?
A lot of times I will write things that I wish I would say in certain situations. I'll say that. So because I was always shy, not Miss Popular or the popular person, wasn't extremely wealthy. So I would usually, write the things that I wish I would say in certain situations, or someone's picking on me or something, that whatever thoughts or words that I would have said or should have said, things along those lines.
Oh man, I've had those situations before when I get into a talking, a bidding war or a talking fight, and he said something, and you try to have a comeback, and you think of that comeback like 2 hours later. It's just too late.
Like, man, that would have been.
I should have said
that would have stuck him right there.
This is what I should have said to shut that down, but I did not. But oh my goodness! But Yeah, oh my!
You're stumping me. These questions, you're stumping me. I haven't thought about this.
And I don't want this to, yeah, I don't want this by any means to be a gotcha, to be a gotcha podcast. I just want to know more about you, and I'm sure the people that are listening want to know more about you, and the people that you share this with, or possibly Christian Simeon shares this with, they're going to know a little bit more about GeminiiDRAGON, the behind the scenes, how you became the way you are. You know, you were you're singing about, oh, I should have said that. Well, do you have an instance where you remember that you got maybe a discussion, a heated discussion, and you should have said something different? Do you remember a for example?
Oh goodness, not from no.
And from any time, even from more recent times, stuff that you've written more recently. What are you writing about over the last 2010 and beyond? Well,
what I'm writing now, what I've learned from the team of people that I have around me is that I need to be more strategic. So what I'm writing now is not necessarily from an emotional place, you know. We have the album and we want to go a certain direction with it, so we write according to that, you know. So it's not necessarily that I'm writing to get out what should have been said. I'm writing now to create a specific, you know, product.
But in turn, I don't want you to, and this is me in a personal view, I don't want you to lose that from the heart, you know. There's a lot
No, it's still from the heart. Okay. It's still from the heart. It's just, you know, it's more structured.
There's a lot of people in suits that are going to come in and say, oh, that guy sang about trucks and girls and beer in his country song, so you should sing about trucks and girls and a beer in your country song. So it's a formula. You know, he sold 1 million records. Why don't you sing about the same exact stuff and rhyme the exact same words and the exact same way, but with a different beat, and you'll make $1 million. You'll sell 1 million records. No.
Yeah, we're not trying to do that. We're not doing that.
All right.
That's not the game plan. No.
There's a theme to the record that you're trying to come up with. And I know, I know there's artists that do that. They'll come up with, hey, I'm thinking about this kind of thing. This is where I'm at. Well, for example, first record you're putting out, you know, way back, and kids, people used to put out records. You know, stuff you could hold in your hand with artwork. No, but first record you're putting out, I don't even know if you're putting records out in 2010. First record, what are you thinking of?
My first record was Fighting Fire with Fire.
And when's that?
Yep. That came out last year in March.
That was a long time coming. And that
last year in March.
That's your whole life. Coming. Your whole life experience is put into this Fire with Fire. Why Fire with Fire? Is it something to do with the dragon breathing? Or, you know, this is just me with my first thought.
More, it's twofold. So, you know, in order to get to where you want to get, in order to get through, you know, just thousands of people that are doing what you're also doing, you sometimes have to use fire to cut through it, you know? So we're fighting fire with fire. That was that particular album.
Yeah, you are. Now, what was the feeling that you were putting into it? Because you had your whole life to come up with this album. And, you know, this is your life experience that gets poured into this album. What was the theme that you were trying to come up with for that album?
Well, just empowerment and strength, you know, and we wanted to make sure it was something that people would move to. And that's pretty much it. You know, we're telling stories of strong women, not taking no stuff, you know, that sort of thing.
Well, you already mentioned that you're going to an MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. Festival. I mean, what does that mean to you to go to a festival, to play, to perform with other artists that are celebrating, you know, this man that changed the world? Everybody, you know, everybody in the world owes a debt, I believe, to Martin Luther King and what he taught.
It's an honor, you know. It's an honor to be able to participate, to you know, share in the in keeping up, or to share in keeping his story and his name alive. You know, it's an honor to be able to do that, and to be able to do that doing something that I love to do, and to be able to begin to make a living doing that. So it's like there's many levels of, you know, appreciation for being able to do this, to be able to be a part of it. You know,
what kind of thought goes into the song list when you're doing a festival like that, as opposed to a different kind of a show at a bar or something like that? When you're doing, all right, have you already thought of the kind of songs that you want to sing, or do you have only one song or a couple of songs that you could sing at that festival?
Well, we have a set list like most bands do, you know. So we're pretty much, because it is a celebration, so the thought process is to help people celebrate, you know. So we're singing the songs from our repertoire that are upbeat, that are going to have people moving and, you know, having a good time while they're there. Now,
are these your original songs? Are they cover songs, or is it a combination of both?
It's mostly original songs, less than a handful of covers.
So what's the set list? What are you taking to the festival with you?
Titles?
Well, titles and you know what the songs mean, each title.
Okay, so let's see. Let's see if I can pull it up. I may not be able to because I'm using my phone right now.
No, I got
to talk to you.
No,
so my information is on the phone.
No, I'm just saying, you know, what songs give you what feelings come out of those songs. Pick a song that you've done recently, and what feeling do you want to express? And I know that songs are subjective. You know, if you write a song a certain way and you think it's going to be taken this way, the person that's listening to that song may take it a completely different way.
You're right. Yeah. So let's see. Let me see if I can get something together right quick for you. So the majority of the set is from my Fighting Fire with Fire album. So we have the album, songs from the album. I put out an EP of covers of traditional blues songs. So we have some songs from that EP. And then we have just, you know, 2 or 3 songs that I like, you know. So we have that going.
Well, what's the difference in feeling by you put out covers. Now, these covers, I'm guessing that they're personal to you. You know, it's something that you've heard as you were growing up, or is it something that was curated for you to do cover songs? Which covers?
Well, the cover songs that are songs that I picked that I just liked, either that I knew of already, or songs as I was researching covers to do that listening to them I liked.
Like what?
And that's pretty much basically what it was. So that cover EP is called I Be Singing. If you go to my Bandcamp page, you can actually see or listen to the songs. So it's songs like Help Me by Sonny Boy Williamson. What else was on there? I had Hound Dog by Big Mama Thornton. Let's see.
I noticed you said Big Mama Thornton rather than Elvis Presley, even though it was his birthday.
You know.
It was his birthday yesterday, but Mama Thornton did it first. She did it first.
Yeah, that's the original.
Yes, she did. Oh my goodness. And I'm sure that's what, you know, Elvis might have heard that version and went, "Huh, I like that." You know? But yeah.
That's the story. That is the story.
People got to know Mama Thornton, man. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. And so let's see. So there's King Bee by Slim Harpo, another song that's on there. And let's see.
Okay. Well,
you're racking my brain.
That's okay. Recording covers as opposed to recording your own songs.
That was just the EP that we put out just to pay homage, you know, to the folks that came before.
Okay. Now, part of the business side, do you have to clear that with the artist? Or is that something that an independent artist can put out? Or does Nepotism Records help you with that?
Nepotism Records is who took care of that. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because recently, and this might be a little out there on left field, recently I heard that Cisco does not make any money on the Thong Song. It's the guy that wrote Living La Vida Loca. Not even Ricky Martin, because he didn't write that song.
Because he didn't get the clearance.
Did not clear it. And just because he says "Living La Vida Loca" so many times in his song, he makes almost $0.
Wow.
With his biggest hit.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So
that's horrible.
That's a good tip for my listener out there. get clearance. Get clearance.
Do it right.
Do it right.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that the artist gets theirs, you know. But go ahead.
So, and as I said earlier, the Fighting Fire with Fire album is about, you know, empowerment.
Yeah.
So the majority of that set is going to be those songs about being empowered, you know, strength, you know. Let's see. My favorite song from the album is called Blacktop Good Man. It's an upbeat song, but it is a love song. And it's, you know, it's about being strong and having that strength of that man, you know, there for you. So that's pretty much the theme of the album and the theme of the set list we're going to have there.
I find that the best relationships are the ones where they don't need each other, but they want each other. It's like, you know, you got a strong woman who makes her own money, and you got a strong man that makes his own money, but they come together and they make something great. You know?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That way it's not one-sided. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, hey, there's still the old fashioned thing where, hey, you know, you can have the dynamic where you have one or the other that stays home and takes care of the household, which is, hey, that's the toughest job in the world.
Great as well.
Toughest job in the world. I don't know if you have children or anything like that, but being a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad, I don't want that job. That's a tough job.
It is tough. I do have children. I'm four. I have 4 kids.
Wow.
Yep.
You did read that part. Be fruitful and multiply. You did. Are any of them, you're looking to get any of them into the band, or they want to get in the band?
Goodness gracious. My oldest wants to, but of course, it's not happening. She's not ready yet. But she clowns and says, well, I want to play drums. I can't play the drums, blah, blah, blah. But yeah. But, you know, that's kids, though.
Hey,
they want to be a part of what you're a part of.
Yeah, moms and dads are going to be looking out for them because the word artist a lot of times has starving right before it. Starving artist.
Yes.
So you look out for them. Hey, why don't you go become a doctor, a lawyer, or you know, something like that. A senator. Yeah, go be something else. And then if you still like music, you can learn guitar or piano or whatever. Or flute. in your spare time. Yeah, you look out for him. You're scared for him. But, hey, it's nice, man. Once you've had music in your family from way back. It's in the blood. It's in the genes. It's in the Gemini genes, GeminiiDRAGON genes. So you've passed those genetics down to the oldest, at least. And maybe the other ones will follow as well. Hey, you might form another band in time.
Well, I'm hoping that I'll say this. If in their heart they truly, truly want to do that, you know, I'm going to support them in whatever they want to do, you know.
Well, that's the thing about the entertainment business.
That word starving is in front of it.
The entertainment business.
I prefer them not to go through that.
It's a hustle. It's a hustle, to be sure, you know, because yes, you're doing one show, but you're always thinking about how to get that next show and how to get that next show. The entertainment business, the money can be good, but the work is not steady. Oh my goodness. No. Hey, you made $1,000 on Saturday night, but then I won't make it again until maybe a couple of more Saturday nights, you know? Hopefully it comes in every Saturday or every Friday or every Tuesday, you know?
You got to stick with it.
Keep going.
You got to stick with it, have a good team, and, you know, the opportunities there to make that be a steady thing. But it does take a lot of work and sometimes a long time, you know.
Well, you got that first album out there after, you know, your whole life of experience, but then you went ahead over the last couple of years, or actually recently you have another album out there of original songs?
It's coming out in February. Equinox is the new album coming out in February. And Ballad of Willie Mae and George is the first single being released off of that album. And that may be the latest, or it should be the latest lyric video that I put out.
It is. It's mostly yellow with your big wig. I know you have a song. You have a song out there. Get Off My Wig or something like that.
That's a cover. That's a cover by Hound Dog Taylor.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, when I was listening, I even let my wife listen to it a little earlier, and she was like, "Oh, she's cute." Oh, that's great. So yeah. My wife's already a fan. How about that?
Okay.
I'm a
That's
fan.
awesome.
She's a fan. No, we're listening to that
Bring 'em
music.
on.
It's down and dirty, blues and soul. You could feel it. You could feel it, Gemini Dragon. You could feel it. You're
I'm
singing.
glad.
You know, and I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of that album. So yeah, my loyal listener, look up the YouTube and the Bandcamp. All the links to your social medias, I already got them down in down in the show notes right below wherever you're listening. But
Yeah.
GeminiiDRAGONmusic.wixsite.com is the main one where you can listen. Two eyes. It's Gemini Eye.
That's right, GeminiiDRAGON.
But okay, now that we know where you've been and you got a tour that's coming up and things are ramping up and you got a record that's coming out, it's an exciting time. After that record comes out, typically when, the bands of yesteryear, when you were selling albums, then you take a tour for about a year and go tour that album. Is that something you're going to do?
Well, we are doing that in a sense. I can't tour for an entire year because I do have the little ones to take care of, but we are going on a tour.
That's fantastic. Are you going to go?
We're getting that all set up right now.
Are you going to go out as far as California again and East Coast, West Coast, all that kind of thing? Or are you going to keep it closer to Louisiana?
Not closer to Louisiana, but different states. I don't think as of yet we're going to California. I know we're going to Colorado again. Where else? We're going to be doing some things in Florida as well. So they're getting together right now. Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah. My tour, what do you call it? My tour agent is Road Dog Touring Company. So they are getting that together. Yeah.
See, another part of the team and another shout out to people that have helped you along the way. That's giving credit where credit is due. Gemini Dragon.
Did an excellent job.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, all right, as we wind this thing down, give some more shout outs to some people that have helped you along the way. And then we'll close this one up for today, and we'll talk a little bit more as time progresses. So exciting with the new tour and the new album.
Yes. Well, the main players that are keeping things going, currently, of course, Christian Simeon with the music and just bringing this part of my life into play. Because he found me or heard me singing on YouTube with Vintage Experience. And that's how this, venture started, from that video that I posted of me singing with that cover band. So Road Dog Touring is doing an awesome job. Of course, the other member of our band, the New Orleans Trauma Unit, is Miss Lala Thomas. She sings background with me, and she also has her own music out as well. I have to thank her, and of course my mother and my father and my sisters. Because I can't go out on the road without someone being home to help with the children and getting them back and forth to school and that kind of thing, So, yes.
Yeah, I mentioned it's tough on a family, but it looks like you've got a good support system, people that'll stay home and take care of the babies as you tour around the world, getting to that next level. But, what are you open to? Are you open to more collaborations, or are you open to more original songs? If people want to slide into your DMs, business only.
Business only.
Business only. If they want to slide to your DMs, what kind of work do you want? Do you want the bar scene, the festivals, in studio? If somebody needs a voice like yours, would you collaborate?
I would collaborate. It wouldn't be me per se doing the the setting it up. My manager would take care of that. But I will be up to it. And of course, it's going to always be original music, because that's how you make your money. You can't really make any money out of covers, as you stated with what's going on with Cisco. If you're singing someone else's music, then you're making them money. And although I do it because I love to do it, another good part of it is being able to support myself and my family doing something I love. So It's going to be original music. It's going to be original music. Yeah.
Well, you see, that's giving people gems again. You have a manager, Kristen Simeon, that helps to keep you insulated, because as you get to a different level, I mean, people might start knocking down your door, and you don't want that. You got family to take care of. You want to keep your personal life away from your business life. You don't, some people don't want to be the Beatles to where they get chased down the street all the time.
Yeah.
That could be disruptive to a life.
Yeah. Very disruptive. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But
any other avenues you want to explore as we wind this thing down? Anything else you want to tell the people? Any secrets?
No secrets. I like to keep my secrets to myself. However, please, find me on whatever social media platform that you like to partake in. I have all the information on the tour dates coming up. We have some spots that are ticket shows. So, please take a look at that. Like the pages, because all those things are now important. How many followers you have and how many views you have of things. So please go to the YouTube page, watch the videos, like the social media platforms.
Isn't that crazy?
I think that's it.
It used to be, how many records do you sell? Nope. How many followers do you have? Oh, you only got 5,000 followers on TikTok. We can't talk to you yet.
Yep.
No.
Unfortunately.
Really? I got to have 50,000 fans on Instagram before you even talk to me? That means I've done all the work that you're supposed to be doing.
Huh. Yep. Unfortunately, that's the way it is now.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll change later on, but that's what it is right now.
Well, hopefully people see.
So you have to get on the road.
Yeah, hopefully people see your merits. You're not simply a studio musician that's been produced and overproduced. Well, if anybody goes to a GeminiiDRAGON show, they're going to see you're the real deal. You got the pipes. You got the good backup singers. You got the good musicians. Have you been working with those musicians for a while? I guess you have a drummer and a guitarist that works with you.
Only since the first album.
Very good. Yep. And now they're tight. You get together with them to rehearse, and then you get on the road with them, and they come with you as well.
That's right.
That's fantastic. That's a good team. Keep that. It's tough. As we get older, we get families. We get other things that get stuck in the way. Oh, my day job wants me to work on Friday, so I can't make it to that show. Well, you got to choose. You got to pick.
You do have to choose. Yeah, that's right. You have to sacrifice.
All right.
Anything you want in life, you have to work hard and sacrifice for it, and make sure you're around the right people that can get you into the right door.
Well, fantastic.
On the right path.
Well, I encourage anyone to follow you on your social medias for sure and find out more about the GeminiiDRAGON. Oh, so cool. So cool.
I love it.
Well, I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. As time progresses, once again, I want you to come back, give us an update. You don't have to go through your whole life story next time because they've already done that. You give people a little notes. Yeah, you give people a little foundation of who you were. You got music from at least Grandpa, at least that far back. So so I usually finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. GeminiiDRAGON, give the last words for the people.
All right, here's one. And I think it applies to most situations. And it's something that I keep in the back of my mind. The less you respond to negativity, the more peaceful your life is going to be.
Well, there you have it, party people. The GeminiiDRAGON. GeminiiDRAGON. Wasn't she cool? Isn't she cool? Oh, my goodness. She's got a lot of experience and a lot of soul, you could feel it. I encourage you, check out her Bandcamp. Check out her Apple and her Spotify and her YouTube page. Oh my goodness, you'll feel it. And if you get the chance, go to a GeminiiDRAGON show. Hey, if you're in that South Carolina, was it South Carolina or North Carolina? Wow. She just said it. It's the Martin Luther King festival. And if you're anywhere in the area, drive to the festival. Re-listen to this podcast so you can figure out where it's at. And follow her on, let's see, it's Gemini Dragon Music. Gemini, that's 2 eyes. Gemini with 2 eyes, dragonmusic.wixsite.com. And all her social links are there. Facebook.com, it's Gemini Dragon. And then Instagram is Gemini_Dragon. And then Twitter is Gemini Music Mom. That's cool. It's hard to juggle family and the entertainment business. It's hard to juggle family in any job, really. But this one sometimes it takes it out of you. If you want to get to that next level where she's at, where the band is at, where they're touring all over the country, yeah, it's nice that you have she has a nice base at home, a good support team that helps her out with the babies, because you got to grow those babies. They are the future. All right, that's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Thanks again, Gemini Dragon. I almost said Gemini Dragon for being on the podcast. I appreciate it so much. I look forward to hearing more from you in the near future, and in the distant future for that matter. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's keysdan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.